Oren, in a politically correct world, we're supposed to be incredible mentors, very giving of our time, very supportive. And it's true, we are.
Yeah.
And I think many of the folks we partner with have the same mentality. But if we're ready to lift the PC umbrella, right, let's talk about the true cost of mentorship. Because I know personally, and I think you and I have exchanged stories, we've had folks in our lives who've been takers.
Yes.
Right?
Vampires. I call them vampires.
Exactly. And, I can always, I get certain calls and I'm, oh my gosh, it's a vamp, right?
Yeah.
But we want to help and we sincerely want to help. But I think it's understanding, putting on my mentee hat as a moment. I've been really blessed and gifted to have incredible role models in my life who have helped me through personal mentoring, professional mentoring, parental mentoring, spiritual mentoring, the whole lot. So as a mentee, I've really had to identify who to maybe go to for different types of guidance. So question for you, putting on your mentor hat, what guidance would you give to our community out there as to what should they look for in an ideal mentor who really will be aligned to whatever it is they're looking to gain some guidance on?
Yeah, it's a good question, a tough question. But first of all, I think just to make it clear, I think everybody should look for mentors in their life because it's why reinvent the wheel? There's people out there that have been successful in something that you're wanting to do, and it doesn't make sense for you to just push the rock up that hill, rather, or climb that mountain without a rope. Right, look for somewhere that a path has been carved, somebody's dropped a rope. You still have to do the work, but might as well short circuit that. And I think mentors can truly, the right mentors can truly help you do that. So then what you sort of implied is, first of all, find a mentor that's for a specific area. So I don't think you can find one person that's going to mentor you in all aspects of your life. So you got to figure out what it is you want and then look for someone who, one, has been successful or successful in that specific area, whether it's business or in parenting or in life or in entrepreneurship or intrapreneurship. So you got to look at, have they done it before? Because I think that's a fundamental. Two is, I would say, you want to find someone who is doing it for the right reasons. So what I mean by that is, it can feel good to be a mentor. It can give you significance, right? Like, here I am coaching or giving, like people love to give advice because it makes them feel good about themselves. But a true mentor doesn't give advice because they know that it's not them who's going to tell you how to climb the mountain. You have to climb the mountain yourself. So they're going to coach you and they're going to ask you questions, and they're going to have, and this is the if it's the third point, second point is, don't look for someone who's giving you advice, or alarm bell should go off if they're giving you advice and telling you what to do, because it's not their place to do that. So the third is, I'd say, making sure that they have your best interests at heart. And how do you determine that? Is generally we have a good feel for why this person is doing it. So you got to trust your instinct. And what I mean by that is truly knowing that person is looking out for you, wanting the best for you and putting your interests first and not their interests.
Right.
And I can relate to a story. I remember when we were working at a company together and you were leaving.
Yes.
And you were asking me for guidance. And I said to you that it's not appropriate for me to give you this because I was personally invested. Like, you were the COO of the company, and it was going to be difficult for the company, because it was going to create a lot of additional work and pain to try and replace you. And so I could not be unbiased in that scenario. And so I said, I can't give you unbiased feedback here, as much as I would like to.
I remember clearly.
I knew that it's almost impossible in some instances to separate yourself out of that. And so I was in tune with that it just wasn't appropriate for me to say anything, because I didn't want to influence the decision, and I couldn't be completely impartial. So I just stood back from that. And I think those are the sorts of people that you want, that they can be true to themselves and give you the best advice for you, not for them. So those are some of the things that come to mind.
Yeah, no, that's well said. And I remember that so clearly, and I was so grateful that you painted that in my role as a friend, as I would say.
Right.
But as a business mentor, I can't put myself into that mix. And it's very true, because for most circumstances, mentees are seeking professional guidance, and the agendas could be muddied.
Right.
And so it's figuring that through. The other thing you said, which had me thinking back, is I think in my younger years, I'm desperately wanting to help people, having this real passion to help and to make things genuinely easier for folks who are cared for saw potential and wanting them to have the best possible professional journey.
Right.
And when they would come for help and guidance, wanting to give them all the answers to make it easier, right? It's kind of like with little kids, right? You want to remove all the obstacles for your children, so we buy them too much, and then we have other issues of expectant behavior, right?
Right.
And it took me a long time to understand the more I was trying to make it easier for folks coming for time, I was creating this cycle of, I don't even know what the word, almost like
the dependency.
Right. And I was carrying boulders on my back, right? And it was like this ongoing cycle versus really coaching them to by asking the tough questions. And in my own role as a mentor, what I noticed as I learned, don't give, ask, and kind of help guide them.
Right.
People don't love to be asked the tough questions.
No. They want the answers.
They want the answers. They don't want to do the work. And so that comes to the next part. As we said, we can't help everyone. So as a mentor, flipping it around, there's only X many hours on a day.
Yeah.
How do you determine who to actually give your valuable, precious time to as a mentor? What does the mentee need to bring to the table?
Yeah, that's also a great question and very relevant for both of us. And so I think another point to look for in a mentor is someone that's going to be firm but fair, right? So you want someone who's going to hold you accountable.
Yes.
And so that's what I do from people that I'm working with, the mentoring, is that you give them a chance, right? You ask them a question, but if they don't do the work, then I don't have time for them. If they're not going to respect my time and respect the process, if I put out a question and ask them to do something, or if they show up late and do things which don't show that they have a respect for your time, then their credibility and their priority in my mind goes to the bottom of the stack.
Right.
Because you got to have a responsibility as a mentee, somebody who has the experience and the capability to be helping you. They're taking time out of their day, and you got to respect that. So for me, it's that's probably the biggest thing, is that just respect this person's time, respect that they're making time available for you, and do the work.
Right.
Like if you're asking for insights and they provide and they ask you to do something, do it.
Right.
Because that's ultimately what it comes down to. Because like we've said before, that no action is sending a message, and not making a choice is sending a message. So what I mean by that is, if somebody's asking you as a mentor to do something and you don't do it, then you're essentially saying, hey, I didn't buy into what you're saying, I don't believe in, or I don't sort of respect. Like we can choose a whole range of words, but essentially you're sending a message, which is fine. It might not be the right person for you. And so for me as a mentor, I look for that. And so if somebody's sending that message subconsciously, I'll be firm and fair and say, okay, look, until you're at that place that you can do the work, then this is not the right relationship.
Very well said. I think in my journey, I know we've crossed notes on this. When I say yes with a time commitment, my family's saying yes, whether they want to or not.
Totally.
And I look back and have recognized that I've spent huge volumes of time with folks genuinely wanting to help, genuinely wanting to make things easier, better, help them be their best possible self, great intentions.
Right.
But I've gone about it by just giving bucket loads of time.
Right.
And at the cost of family and a cost of having my energy spent in other entrepreneurial or personal enjoyment avenues, right?
Right.
And so the maturing process is I probably didn't do those folks the best favor either, right? So it's coming back to, as a mentee, what is it you're looking for coaching on? Find someone, to your words, who's been there, done it, so has that track record. And as a mentor, be very specific of who you're giving your time to, and clearly lay out some of the expectations perhaps as well, to make sure that there's value add for the mentor or the mentee. Because if the mentee is getting something out of it, that's the ultimate reward for a mentor, to see the performance and the impact.
Yeah, very well said.